Finally, the team that actually did well against Real Madrid, breaking the record they had. The unbeaten record has been broken when it comes to La Liga, where they did well against them. Good one for the team that did well against Real Madrid. Welcome you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. We're looking at that particular story where Rayo Vallecano actually did well against Real. Although that's not the first story, we start from home, where we just have to look at our own stories first. Well, we know that Nigeria won't be going rather to the World Cup, but the most painful thing is the fact that a lot of Nigerians that wanted to see the green, white, green won't be doing that, because in the next 12 days, World Cup will be starting. Where some countries right now, they started releasing the squad list, and right now, NFF president, the newly elected NFF president, Ibrahim Gusau, apologizing to Nigerians. We apologize for not qualifying for 2022 FIFA World Cup. That's the first story we'll be looking at in this edition of 360 Sport. I have in the studio, Olawale Peter is here. We'll be talking sport, and it's good to have you back.
Good morning, Adeni. It's my pleasure to be back.
Good one. Let's look at this particular statement coming from NFF President Ibrahim Gusau, saying we apologize for not qualifying for the World Cup. That's the first story. As we know that we won't be going for the World Cup. Yes, while they were having a meeting with the sponsors of the Nigerian Football League, talking about the MPFA and all that, and also supporting the NFF, they just had to tell Nigeria that they are very sorry concerning not qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah, apologies noted, but not taken. That's the truth. It's not about them coming to apologize. It was part of the last NFF executive as the chairman of the chairman. So what have they done after we lost out from the World Cup? What process, what preparation have they put in place? We don't want them to come out and be apologizing or to talk. We want them to show us their plan towards the next Nations Cup. What plan do we have? Because that will be a build-up to the World Cup also. So do we have a team now? Do we have a pattern? So this is what we've been talking about. Them coming out to apologize is a political statement. Sincerely, no amount of apology will bring back the pains that people like us that went to the stadium, that we trekked, as in we trekked to the stadium to share the country's up. No amount of apology will bring back the pains that we witnessed on that very day. No amount of apologies will bring back the money that we've lost as a country. In 2018 World Cup, FIFA paid Nigeria $9.5 million. I'm very sure this year it is over $10 million that we've lost. We have a lot of business opportunity that Nigeria can also benefit by qualifying for the World Cup, because football is business. It's not all about entertainment. But for them here, it is more like corruption and a means to embezzle money. The only reason why they will be sad that we didn't go to the World Cup is what they're supposed to get if you have gone on the World Cup. So they shouldn't come out to apologize. By now, we're supposed to have a round table talk to tell us the process that they will use to usher in, so that we can know that we have a team right now. Do we have a team now? Do we have a Super Eagles now? Look at the friendly that we played recently, about 2-3 matches that we played. We can't pinpoint that we still have a pattern, or we have a team, or we have someone communicating, or we have a future. I know that we don't have the resources. We have the players, we have the people, but unfortunately, we are good people with bad leaders in this country. So that's actually what the problem is. I think it is high time they stop going from one place to another and apologize. Let us see action. Let's see action. Other countries that have lost, that they are not going for the World Cup, we've seen what they've done. Their coaches have been sacked. The entire team has been disbanded. They are bringing in young, agile, committed, dedicated, motivated individuals that will be proud to wear green, white, green jersey. We have them in this country. That is what we need right now. We don't need all this the apology. Sincerely, I'm speaking for millions of Nigerians outside there. We don't need the apology. We need the action.
The deed is done.
It's done, honestly. It's done.
We just hope that Nigeria, well, we just have to get our acts together, because right now, even though apology won't solve anything, we are not going to the World Cup. Yes, although like some people say, it's not a bad try. Yes, we know that, but really, we needed to be there. We just couldn't just get there because of some reasons here and there. Although a few days ago we heard that the General Secretary was saying Destiny did not allow us to go, but someone actually picked out that if you have planned well, if you remember, the coaching crew was changed before the World Cup and all that, the World Cup qualifiers, that affected that squad, and that's right now Nigeria won't be there. And it's really dawning on Nigerians because it's edging so close that the World Cup will be starting in Qatar. Now, from that particular story, why they apologize to Nigerians, they also want the sponsors also make sure that promising that they win, they make sure they execute well about all the money they'll be getting from all the sponsors. Now let's leave that aside and look at the fact that Rayo Vallecano, they were able to break the unbeaten record set by Real Madrid. Los Blancos right now, they lost that game 3-2 against Rayo Vallecano there. A game that a lot of people were thinking maybe Real will win this game, but it never happened. Rayo Vallecano came, they roared against Madrid. 3-2 it ended.
Okay, I told a friend of mine yesterday that when a derby match is being played, be expecting the unexpected. That's the truth. The Rayo Vallecano that we saw yesterday, it is not their ordinary self. It's a motivated, committed, and dedicated Rayo Vallecano that we saw yesterday. They didn't only win the match, they won from 2-1 to 3-2. So that means they came from behind from 2-1 to 2-2 and to 3-2. And you can see the second half, they dominated the game from beginning to the end. It's like Real Madrid, they were sleeping that yesterday. The pressure was much for them. One thing about record is it's meant to be broken one day. And unfortunately, the record got broken by their rival.
City rival.
So that is what really pained Real Madrid. That it's our City rival. It's like Man City having a record and Manchester United broke the record. So our Chelsea have a record and Arsenal broke the record. So that's how it is, and so that's how painful it is for the Real Madrid. Record are meant to be broken, so they should just move on. They've set the record. Someone else will start from where they stopped.
Now, La Liga really getting interesting because Barcelona are right now, even though before the game they are topping the table. Let's quickly have a peek at the look at the way the table is standing. After match day 13, Barcelona really, they are working to see if they can continue to up this game. They have 34 points, Real Madrid 32. You have Atletico Madrid 24, 10 points adrift, the first position and the third position. So that shows that right now, the battle is between the two teams, Barcelona and Madrid, because Real Madrid, Real Betis, they are 10 points behind Barcelona.
Okay, I think we are back to the era where it's between Barcelona and Real Madrid. But something that I know is what they have now, is it a form or a class? So is it something permanent or something temporary? Time to tell. We still have a long way to go between now and May, but at least they have something to console themselves that, okay, we're out of the Champions League again, we are going to play Europa playoff to even determine if you'll be playing in the Europa Cup from next year. So this is something that they can use to console themselves before the World Cup, get themselves together. After the World Cup, anything can still happen, but it's a very good one for the Barcelona team because they need something to really motivate them.
They need that motivation. Talking about Barcelona, before the beginning of the season, it was like a blink. But now they've actually perfected their ways against the likes of Real Madrid, topping the table 24 points rather, while Real Madrid are second with 32 points. 2 points adrift the two teams, and it's a tough one because they have to fight to the end right now. Well, 13 matches they've played, they have 25 to go, and it's still very tough. The likes of Valencia standing 11th on the log, and you have Sevilla down 17th. On the log now. Sevilla just have to up their game. Villarreal 9th on the log, and you have Mallorca, Getafe in that pecking order. Well, news came out yesterday concerning Liverpool, where a lot of rumors here and there that is up for sale. But right now, let's look at this particular story where Liverpool owners, Fenway Sports Group, will consider new shareholders, but they are not saying they want to sell. Well, they just have to quickly refute that particular rumor that has been going around that they want to sell that club. It has been, in fact, they have to issue a statement. Let's look at that particular statement before we have our guests to talk about it. Let's look at the statement coming from Fenway Group, Sports Group, statement on Liverpool rumor sale. There have been a number of recent changes of ownership and rumors of changes in ownership at EPL clubs. And inevitably, we are asked regularly about Fenway Sport Group's ownership in Liverpool. FSG has frequently received expressions of interest from third parties seeking to become shareholders in Liverpool. So underline that place. They said they are seeking for shareholders. FSG has said before that under the right terms and conditions, we will consider new shareholders if it was in the best interest of Liverpool as a club. FSG remains fully committed to the success of Liverpool, both on and off the pitch. That means they are not ready to sell now. They are only looking for more hand. Since FSG took over Liverpool, the club won their first Premier League title in 2019-2020 season, while they have also reached the Champions League final 3 times under Jurgen Klopp, winning the title in 2019. That's a statement coming from the group that owns Liverpool to at least refute that particular rumor that they want to sell. They only want shareholders.
Okay, and when the rumor broke out yesterday thereabouts, I asked myself that how true is this? Because I recall vividly last year, an investor from Middle East, they proposed £3 billion pounds to buy Liverpool. And that was during the COVID
And that should be Ambani.
Ambani, yes.
The Indian billionaire.
Indian billionaires, but they rejected outrightly that they are not ready to sell. At that time that we have pandemic eating the economy, they are ready to pay £3 billion. But they said, no, we are not doing this. We are not selling it. And early this year also, there's another investor who is part of their shareholders, they call them Red Board, that bought AC Milan for £1 billion. They also invested over £500 million recently. So that means them selling, it will not be an option for a businessman like them. They're businessmen because they see football as business, not only to entertain alone. They bought Liverpool in 2010 for £100 million. According to Forbes, this year, Liverpool is valued at £3.5 billion. So you can see between 2010 to 2022, you can see the wide margin when it comes to the valuation of Liverpool. So why on earth would they now want to sell when they are not from Russia? They are having issue that Abramovich had in case of Chelsea, that he has to sell Chelsea forcefully. What they need is to have more shareholders. I think the Red Board, they have the highest shareholding in Liverpool with 11% currently now. Other people, they have 1% stake, 2% stake. Probably they want to relinquish part of their own shareholding, maybe to invest in other businesses. And they've done very well also. Between 2010 to 2022, they've won almost everything. Premier League and Champions League, even though they played Champions League 3 times.
Before they got it.
Let me use the word that is very common now in Nigerian politics. They lose it twice before they won it once.
Oh my goodness.
So they won it once. It's still an achievement. So off and on the pitch, they are doing very well. So I don't see any reason why they should be going to sell a club that is doing very, very well.
And to let you know that Liverpool right now, at least one of the basketball star or legend, talking about LeBron James, he has 2% stake at Liverpool and a host of others. And to let you also know that Liverpool don't really need a buyer now. According to them, they want shareholders because nothing is actually bothering them. They just want to do business, and that's why they roll out that particular statement coming from Fenway Sport Group, FSG. And quickly, let's run through some, well, as we speak right now, some countries are beginning to release their squad for the World Cup. 2022 World Cup coming up in Qatar from November 20. That city or that country will be a go with different stars that want to showcase their talent when it comes to football. Now we look at the Samba. Yes, Brazil, as they call it, the Samba boys list have been released by their coach Tite. A look at Brazilian squad, and surprisingly, Firmino didn't make that cut. You have the likes of 39-year-old Alves Dani, who actually made the cut. Quickly, let's look at the Brazilian squad as released by Coach Tite just yesterday. Goalkeepers, we have Alisson of Liverpool, Ederson of Man City, Weverton of Palmeiras, and defenders, you have Brima, who plays for Juventus, Ida Militao, Real Madrid, McQueen of PSG, Thiago Silva, who plays for Chelsea, Daniel Vez, who plays for Pumas, and you have Alexandro and Alex Telles of Sevilla. In the midfield, you have Bruno Guimaraes of Newcastle, Casemiro, Manchester United, Everton Ribeiro, who plays for Flamengo in Brazilian League there, Fabinho, Liverpool, Fred, Manchester United, and you have Lucas Paqueta, who also plays straight with West Ham United. the strikers or forward, as we call them. Anthony, the man that just came from Ajax, who plays with Manchester United right now. Gabriel Jesus is there from Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli also in Arsenal. Neymar Jr., PSG. Pedro, Flamengo. Rafinha, Barcelona. Richarlison, Tottenham Hotspur. Rodrigo, Real Madrid. And Vinicius Jr., Real Madrid. Those are the 26 players released by Coach Tite. Well, Brazilian with their colorful yellow is always a team that a lot of people want to see what's going to happen in the World Cup. Well, even though it's painful that the likes of Firmino couldn't make this squad, a lot of people were surprised that Firmino couldn't make it. But for Dani Alves, a good one for him, despite the fact that his age. But one way or the other, he's able to make the cut. Okay,
and sincerely, I don't know what will become of Brazil during this World Cup. And Cafu made a statement a long time ago that the Premier League and the money football is killing the Brazilian football. And if you look at this team, this is the first time in the history of Brazil that they'll be having only 4 home-based players from the squad of 26. 4 home-based players.
Which has never happened.
It has never happened before. It is during the World Cup that we do normally discover a lot of Brazilian players.
They play for Santos, play for Flamengo, Corinthians.
It is during the World Cup that we normally discover them and other clubs will go after them. But what we have now is a replica of what we have with English team. During the World Cup, we'll have this mindset that, oh, England, they have what it takes to win the World Cup. Reason being, we watch the Premier League every week. We are seeing the player, and we thought they are the best. But by the time they get to the World Cup, we now discover that, man, come on, we have a lot of good players outside there. So that is my
looking at the defenders now. In fact, the goalkeeper only one. The goalkeeper only, that's Palmeiras goalkeeper.
Yeah.
The defenders,
they have only Dani
Alves that plays at home there.
And I'm sure he's going there because of the experience. Because if you look at most of their players, they are still very young. They don't have the experience. And if you look at what Anthony did recently in Manchester United, that they have to call him that. You can't be dancing like Vinicius Jr. also. This is not a samba dance. This is they are not
the midfielders.
Look at the midfielders.
Only Everton Ribeiro, Flamengo, that is at home,
so
from home there.
Then look at the forward also. They only have Pedro from Flamengo, making 4. So that means they only pick one goalkeeper, 1 defender, 1 midfielder, and 1
striker from
so
their country.
How sure are we that they are even going to, form the first 11? And the reason why they've been doing very well before, most of them, they unsigned themselves from their local leagues. They only pick 1, 2, or 3 players to join them, to blend with them. But that's not the case we have now. So my hope of tipping Brazil to win the World Cup is very skeptical.
It's shaky.
It's very, very shaky right
Although
now.
sorry to cut you short, a supercomputer, though that may not actually work, Octopus did that, it never worked. So a supercomputer predicted that Argentina, Portugal will play the final of this year's World Cup. And a lot of people are looking at, okay, maybe this is Messi's time to get the cup. He has so much covet. He really he's obsessed with that cup. He wants to get it to at least get everything. But by the time Tite released this squad yesterday, a lot of people are like, what? You didn't pick Firmino? Okay, you pick Alves because of experience. We know Alves, his fitness is shaky now. And maybe you had that experience, just like we do here in Nigeria, that Ahmed Musa is always there to encourage the guys, to talk to them about his experience. That will add value. But just like you have said, someone also opined that Brazilian squad now, yes, they are very good. But are we not going to see a lot of flamboyancy now in this squad than performance?
You're going to see that. We're going to see that. And that is what will create problems for them, because they will not take it as serious as others who take it. Then for the issue of the super computer. Honestly, I'm going to pick Argentina as one of my favorites to win the World Cup, because if you look at their team currently now, they are full of young, hungry players with an old, hungry player like Lionel Messi, that the only chance he has to touch the World Cup is
now.
And Qatar 2022. So, and if you look at the last Copa America that they played, if you watch their game from beginning to the end, which I did, I saw a team. I saw teamwork. It's not about what they used to do in Barcelona that everybody looked for Messi. They don't look for Messi. They look for the best player who had the best scoring chances at that time and pass the ball to them. So the team is not built around Messi like they used to be. Brazilian team, they'll build the team around either Neymar or Vinicius Junior, and that is not what they really need. I don't know the reason why they did that, and I'm also shocked when I didn't see Firmino. This is someone that has goal experience. He also is not a selfish player. He looks for his teammates and give them the balls when he's not in the better position to score a goal. We've seen that he has done that with Nunes, he has done that with Salah and host of others. So the reason why they didn't pick him, I'm thinking maybe they don't want it to look as if most of their team are foreign-based players, because if they didn't pick him, that means they will drop Pedro from Flamengo and replace him. So that would be like they don't have any attacker from their own country, which would be an issue for them. Whatever it is, we wish them, at least they're still better than us.
At least they are going.
They are going. So
there is hope for them. So make it to, let's say, semi-final or quarter.
Even for even playing during the group stages, it's still something. Unlike us, that we will be here analyzing and watching.
We just have to give kudos to Coach Tite there. A top decision for him to have picked up those players without taking Firmino. And quickly before we go, just yesterday, draws was made concerning UEFA Champions League round of 16. And let's look at those teams that will be fighting for honors. Well, if we look at it from bottom to the top, the toughest one there, PSG Bayern. Someone, I saw a particular clip going around from Muller talking about PSG, that they are coming for them just when they need to Barcelona. And I saw like, well, maybe this is the time that they will get the bitter pill they've been giving to Barcelona. Maybe PSG will actually upstate them. Well, Leipzig against Manchester City, Club Brugge, Benfica, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Tottenham Hotspur, AC Milan, Eintracht Frankfurt, Napoli, Chelsea, Dortmund, Inter Milan, FC Porto, and you have PSG Bayern.
Okay, it's going to be very interesting between PSG and Bayern. If you look at them head-to-head, they've played 11 times. And Bayern, they won 6 times. PSG, they won 5 times. And both of them, they scored 15 goals in between their 11 meetings. And Bayern, from the group stages, they played 6 matches and they won all the 6 matches, just like they did last season. And if you look at the goals also, they scored 18 goals and they conceded only 2 goals in 6 matches. So if you look at this statistic, it shows that Bayern, they are really on top of their game for now. And from the 11 meetings between Bayern and PSG, I think they met in 3 knockout stages in which Bayern, they have upper hand against PSG. But when you have the likes of Neymar, you have the likes of Messi, and you have the likes of Mbappe, anything can happen. They are known, but the match is still going to be played in February 14. So let's see what the Valentine will be for the PSG and the Bayern. But sincerely, it's going to be 50-50 between both of them. Inter and Porto, if you look at it on paper, you give it to Inter, because currently right now they've been rejuvenated, so they are playing more like the Inter that we used to know during Mourinho's time, with one style: determination. Determination. So they have that one. Dortmund and Chelsea, you know, Chelsea always have a problem when they play with a German team. So you're looking at Dortmund that, probably because Erling Haaland is not there also, they still have a lot of good stars, and this England star is with them. With Chelsea, they're already thinking of bringing him in January also. So, and the way Chelsea is wobbling and fumbling currently right now, I don't really think, except they get themselves right after the World Cup, maybe something will happen. Then Frankfurt and Napoli, they have been in all
fantastic job.
In fact, they have the highest goal in the Champions League group stage. They scored 20 goals so far. So they have the highest. So that means no matter how you want to play with them, they must score.
They must score.
Look at our own Osimhen, what he's doing, what he did over the weekend also when they play. So I think I'll give it to Napoli. Then AC Milan and Tottenham, they are both struggling. And if you look at the team of Tottenham, how they qualified is anybody's game until the last match that they played.
Yes.
They qualified with 10 points. Second qualified with 9. Then the third, 7th, and the last in their group got 6 points. So it's 6, 7, 9, 10. So it shows that it could have been anybody's game. Anybody will have won the match. But Tottenham, they won it with the help of their experienced skipper. That is Harry Kane. Liverpool and Madrid. That is something that
big match.
Everybody really wants to see what is going to happen. And they've met 9 times. Real Madrid won 5 times. Liverpool won 3 times, and the Jew won. Between these, there are 9 meetings. They met at the knockout stages and final 5 times. Liverpool won twice. Liverpool won in 1980 and 1981 during the during the final. Then they also won during the quarter final. But the 2 final they met recently, Real Madrid
actually
triumph over them. So it's going to be against a game of revenge or class or whatever. But Liverpool, they are not doing very well when it comes to the domestic league, in the Premier League. But when it comes to the Champions League, take it or leave it, they are doing very well, especially their last game against the informed Napoli, how they are able to, they won 5 matches from their 6 matches, in which Real Madrid won 4 matches, drew 1, and lost 1. So I think the game is seriously open. It's not over until it is over.
It's not over. So, well, Club Brugge, we have a Nigerian there, Yedika against Benfica. That's a kind of group you like, okay, this particular match, both away and home, let's see who wins. They are both BB. But Man City, Leipzig.
Okay, we shouldn't underrate Leipzig because Man City already, they are kind of jubilating. They should recall that last season they met at the group stages. The first one, Man City won 6-3, in which Nkunku scored hat-trick at Etihad. And the second match, they won. Leipzig won Manchester City. So they have the motivation already that we've done it before, we can still do it again. So it's not going to be over until it is over. However, Pep Guardiola, he needs this cup badly. His contract is going to expire next year. So if he didn't get this, his name will go down in the history of football as a coach that spent over $1 billion without winning the Champions League. That is a lot of money. The Benfica, don't overrate them. They're in the same group with PSG, Juventus, and they top the group. So that shows that they are not here to play also. So the draw will be very, very interesting. Let's see what happens by February.
Interesting draw there coming from UEFA Champions League. We've been looking at them where PSG will face Bayern. You have Liverpool against Real Madrid. A tough one come February. All these matches will be coming up. And for Nigeria, well, we just have to take heart. We won't be going to the World Cup, even though countries are beginning to release the squad. All we need to do is to watch, enjoy the World Cup, at least give kudos to all the players. It's not easy playing football. We just have to go now. I want to appreciate your time with us, Olawale Peters.
It's my pleasure being here. And for the World Cup, I won't just sit and watch. I'll support our motherland, Ghana.
Cameroon or where?
Ghana.
Okay. A lot of at least Nigeria will be coasting home with Ghana. Hopefully they will do well at the World Cup. We love you, Ghana, Cameroon, Tunisia, all the countries that will be going to the World Cup from Africa. I just have to go now. I am Adeniyi Ajisefe. Sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.